Good morning, fourth graders. So I apologize if my video is glitchy at all. My computer does not like me lately. All right, so today for reading comprehension, we are making inferences. And so our goal is I can make inferences by asking questions of the text and then searching for clues that help me answer my question. So what is an inference? Well, in inference, it's like reading between the lines, right? We'll look at some examples, but an inference is something that the author never says, but still expects you to figure out, okay? It's like putting together the pieces. There are questions that you have, there are clues in the text. Then you use your own background knowledge like, oh, I went through something like this before, so I know how that character feels. You put together all of those clues, and that makes an inference. We are going to use this little graphic organizer to organize our thoughts as we discover the inference. And your assignment is going to be to put your questions and your clues and your inference in these charts for each of these passages. Let's take a look. Let's do an example together. Maybe. There we go. Let's take a look at this passage. These are very short passages, barely a paragraph long. Felix opened the door, looked out, and closed it. This is the fourth rainy day in a row, he said with a sigh. He sat on the shiny bike next to the door. It still had a happy birthday balloon attached to the handlebars. I wish it would stop raining, Felix said. Then maybe I'll get to ride at last. We're going to write down the questions that we have right here. The first question I have is, how is Felix feeling? How is Felix feeling right now? I wrote that in blue, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight some of those clues that I find. Click on my highlighter up here. Okay. How is Felix feeling? Well, to figure that out, I'm going to look at what Felix says and what he does, and that should help me make an inference to how he is feeling. Because authors never, well, not never, but authors rarely say, this character feels happy, this character feels sad. No, they show how the character is feeling by what they say and what they do. Okay. He said with a sigh. That's a clue to how he's feeling. If I'm really happy, I don't sigh. Okay. So down here, the clue says, and I'm going to write the clue in the same color, that blue. How is Felix feeling? Well, he said with a sigh. That's a clue. He sighed. So my inference is that Felix isn't happy. He's frustrated. He's sad. And also look up here at what he says. This is the fourth rainy day in a row. I don't think that he's happy that it's raining. So I'm going to highlight that as a clue too. And I'm going to build on what we just wrote. Felix isn't happy. So I don't have to quote the text. I can just say, he sighed because it was raining. That's a clue that I found in the text. Okay, the author never said Felix isn't happy, but I used that clue to help me figure that out. Okay, but what about this bike? Another question I have is, what kind of bike is this? Let's take a look and see if we can find any clues about this bike and why this bike might be important. He sat on the shiny bike. You know what, since this is another question, let's pick a different color. You can pick any color. I'm going to pick red. Okay. And I'm going to pick another highlighting color as well. Maybe green. Okay. No! I don't need that to be green. Okay. He sat on the shiny bike. So, when you're going through and making inferences, when you're thinking about the text, you use your own background knowledge too. And in my experience, if I go in my garage, none of those bikes are shiny. Okay, those bikes are well-loved bikes. You go on bike rides, you bike through the mud, you bike in the street. They're not shiny because we've had them for a long time. They're older bikes. They work really well. They're not shiny. What kind of a bike is shiny? A new bike. Yes. There's a happy birthday balloon attached to the handlebars. Ah. That's another good clue. Okay. Here he says, I wish it would stop raining. Then maybe I'll get to ride at last. He's never been able to ride this shiny bike. Oh, I'm beginning to understand what the author wants me to know right now. Okay. So, some clues right here are that, what kind of bike is this? It's a new bike he got for his birthday. Okay. So what important inference can I draw from this passage? What can I conclude? Well, Felix isn't happy because why? Felix isn't happy because, I'm going to write this conclusion in new colors so I don't get it confused. You don't have to use all these different colors. It just helps me to organize my thoughts. My conclusion, something that the author never said but is important, Felix isn't happy because he got a new bike for his birthday and he still hasn't been able to ride it because of the rain. Isn't happy because he got a new bike for his birthday. Just end the sentence there. Start this with a capital. There. He still hasn't been able to ride it because of the rain. Good. That's it. Okay? When you make an inference, you're going to write down the questions that you have, find the clues, and then write down. The author never said this. The author never said, this boy is really grumpy because he got a new bike for his birthday and he hasn't been able to ride it because of the rain. But he wrote clues in the passage. Your job, these directions say to read passages 2 through 5. Complete the inference chart like we just did by first writing down the questions, finding clues, and then writing your inference. Okay, here's passage 2, passage 3, passage 4, passage 5. Okay, easy peasy. You've got it. If you have any questions, let me know in the private message on Google Classroom. and I'll set up a Google Meet, or I'll be able to answer your questions just right there. I believe in you. You can do it. Good luck. Bye.